What's up, everybody? This is Scarada, or some of you may know me by Mario, and today we'll be covering my first Wixoss deck profile. We'll be covering No Limit here with the Hirina main. I think this is just the best deck to start off my channel with. Very easy to cover, and honestly, this video should be fairly short because most of you guys who have played the game can already know what this deck does. But for the list, whoever is looking for it, you can just easily see this right here. I've already laid out the cards for you. You can just take a picture if you'd like. This is also on Wecross Store. I did post or submit a deck list to them so they can also have that on there too. But yep, we are on the blue build. We will explain more why we play that for anybody who's gonna stick around. And let's just go ahead and move forward. So why play Hirano or No Limit in general? It is just like the best deck in Going Diva right now. Has the easiest learning curve, has the best colors, and it's very budget friendly. Um, the colors being red, blue, and yellow. Yellow and blue having the best defensive options, and red having the best aggressive options right now. And it's budget friendly. You can buy the child deck. It has pretty much everything you need in it. All you need is like maybe like 4 or 5 SRs to get like to the competitive level. Hirona herself is very good. She refunds half her cost when you play her, draw in an enter charge 1. The attacking Signy, get plus 2k power, lets you beat over a lot of things. And then the once per game effect to basically ask your opponent for 2 shields, which is just very good. And then moving on to the assist Lrigs, you'll see this line in a lot of lists. They're playing the both double main phase Rays, drawing you 4 cards in total for only basically 1 enter. And then the Ray having the second benefit of making your opponent discard 2 cards at random. If your opponent ever extends their hand at level 2 or 3, this can be pretty punishing for no reason. Just having the access to this is very good. And refilling you on any cards that you may need. Akino, once again, following the theme of very cheap. The overall line costs 2 unless you wanted to pay 4 for the additional effect of bye-bye. But Akino plays around Zhao Yun, which is a problem for this deck. And just bouncing back your opponent's creature, denying them enter and stuff like that. And the Akino too can pretty much level. Once it's leveled, you can prevent 2 attacks with it because of that extra cost to add a shield back, which is just really nice. We don't play a lot of white, so it doesn't come up as often, but if you ever have like a shield or a Zhao Yun that dies, you can always be able to pay for it. And then as for the other Sisto rigs that I have here, I just wanted to talk about these. The reason why they don't see play is because they're a little bit more defensively oriented and defensively slanted, so they just don't play into the game plan like these other 4 do. But they are options, and I do think there might be some play for them in the future when maybe you're switching leaders or something. So moving on into the pieces, Glory Grow, very obvious. Giving your LriG double crush and your opponent can't guard. Basically reads your opponent takes 2 damage, um, which is very good. 0 downsides to playing it. You can play it as a finisher if your opponent's at 0, you win the game. If you're playing it early, you can just push 2 damage. As for KK, which is what I'm going to call it because I don't want to butcher the name, it is versatile at most game states. The draw 1 enter charge you can use at any point in the game. You like the free resources. It can be used during the attack phase to surprise your opponent with like an Akino that they probably try to deny. And then just overall, very good. Plays into the deck's game plan that you want to do. Because you are paying out a lot of enter, so that 1 extra enter usually is what you care the most about. As for go to the top, I wanted to put in here just to talk about. There are people who play it because it can choke people out of their enter. It searches anything, but unfortunately, there's no real big pieces that this deck needs. And the reason why I don't like it is because it costs 3 enter, and having that 3 enter can be put towards more removal instead of taking away your opponent's enter, which I think is just more valuable. And it requires your opponent to have enter in the first place to be able to have any maximum value. Usually, them needing like 2 or 3 to be able to get the most value you can get out of this. So, moving on, why are we splashing blue? For the trouble and the Falklar for the main reason. Gives you the 8 life burst abilities to rest 2, and then Falklar having the benefit of drawing you a card as well. The 10k bodies are really good because we play the Savannah as well to fix for blue if we ever need to activate trouble. And then trouble being in this deck also just gives us access to more draw power, which is really nice. This helps against like the universe matchup, and then if we're just ever out of steam, we can use trouble. And then I put Tobio on this slide because Tobio is kind of the reason why this package can fit. If you ever had dead troubles in your hand that you can't activate, you can just play Tobio, cycle it out, or you can use trouble and Tobio in tandem together to dig through your deck for looking for more like removal or something. But Yeah, Tobio is a good addition to this deck. It has a good life burst effect, and it has a very great on enter effect. The on attack effect doesn't really come up as often, but it can be useful at some points in the game. And so, moving on, current staples and power cards, we have the Holy Trinity, the Deafening Inferno, the Lancelot, and the Romel, being the 12 copies of one cost removal that we're able to play. Very, very strong overall. Requires 0 deck concessions. If you're in red, you can just slam these in here. Romel and Lancelot have colorless costs for their abilities, and it plays easily into every matchup right now. Any deck that doesn't slam Zhao Yun on turn 1 gets punished by Romel if they're not playing like 5k vanillas, and then Lancelot just punishes like every level 2 or lower that's not like a 10k stat line. So, yeah. As for Zhao Yun, counters 2 of the 3 here. You'll see this in a lot of lists. Pretty staple yellow card, or I mean white card if you're in white. And counters Lancelot and Romel very effectively. So that's why it sees so much play. It's very good. It gives you early game insulation that you need. And as for Rose Quartz, we don't really play for the draw power, but the incidental draw power can come up, can dig you into a shield if you need to. But we pay for the pay 2 to remove a 12k or less. Pretty much removing any relevant card that you care about, at least in like most matchups. And then Nobunaga, once again, one cost removal is the name of the game here. It's very strong. The rise is a benefit more than it is a curse or a cost. Because usually what you like to do is just play Tobiel, cycle, and then play the Nobunaga on top to pop something. And then it also just threatens 2 damage for kind of existing. The main phase, pay 2 to gain double crush is really strong. So if it ever sticks on the board, you can always have that lingering threat. And then it works very well with the peace card, because if your opponent doesn't have a response, you could just use this and the peace card and then have 4 damage represented, which is really good. And so, yeah, here's the list again. I just wanted to go over it. The only card I didn't talk about was Mars. It's an on-play ditch 3 red cards to gain Assassin. This is you're out to Shadow if your opponent goes like double Arcwind or something. And I tucked it in here just for that scenario. Taking out the 1 Rose Quartz. A lot of people like playing 4, but the 1 Mars has been working out pretty well. And so that's just my preferred choice. You can choose how you want to build this list. And then once again, yeah, just this whole line right here of defensive options are really good. You have really strong triggers overall that interact in a very positive way for you. Moving on to the wrap here, for anybody who wants to find me on Facebook, I have my name right here. Same thing with Discord. And then if you're not already in the Selector group or Selector Land, the Facebook group, you can go ahead and take a join here. I have the name here as well. And as always, leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more Wixoss content. I'm going to be doing more deck profiles in the future. Let me know how the formatting of the slides are. I did a little bit of work on them, so I kind of like how this worked. But just let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I could do better. And yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.